Back at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal, where the NASCAR Nationwide Series is in lap 19 of 74, and that car, the 59 of Marcus Ambrose, is the runaway leader at this point. And I'm with his crew chief, Gary Cogswell, and what's interesting is that during that yellow after the red, Marcus just kept talking about how he had no grip on those rain tires. What happened?
Well, I don't know. We really didn't think our setup was really going to be very good in the rain on wet pavement. But, you know, we were really happy with it on the dry. We opted to not change it a lot for the wet weather, and it's surprisingly good compared to what our expectations were. You know, the track's going to dry out again. We'll probably run dry. It might rain again. We'll probably run wet. It's kind of like a big mystery here. Somebody's going to guess right and they're going to win the race. I just hope it's me. But anyway, hey, I got a couple of kids at home having birthdays today. Want to make sure I say hi to you, Zach and Steven. See you tomorrow.
There you go, Marty, or Mike. Yeah, Marty.
Hey, it's one of us. Don't worry about it. If Dad wins, kids, there'll be a big birthday party. Take a look as Marcus continues to lead by 4.3 seconds. And we talked to him about road racing. He says, nah, there's no real secret to it.
There's no secret to road racing. Anyone will tell you it's about compromise. You give up a little bit of high-speed corner to make your slow speed better. It's about giving up a bit of traction to make your brakes better. So really, just an all-round compromise.
And of course, last year he led 37 of what ended up being a 75-lap event, and it was leading with 3 to go when, of course, we had the infamous Robbie Gordon incident that took both of them basically to the barn.
Tell you what, that track is drying up pretty good right now, guys.
One of the cars that has been on the move, Stephen Wallace. We're going to try and find him out on the racetrack right now because he has moved up 25 spots from the start of the race and has been, there he is, coming through, turns 13. He's got Jason Leffler right in front of him. And a few laps ago, these guys were beating and banging on each other and having a good old time of it. In fact, let's go back and take you to the view. Here's what happened.
See Steven trying to stop the car. Look at the rear wheels completely stopped, using Jason Leffler as something to stop. And Leffler did a pretty good job not, hitting the back with anger. But now they're racing off that corner. Steven saying, go ahead, I'm sorry, waving his hand. Look at that. Get your hand back in the wheel, boy.
Yeah, stop waving, drive.
He's worried about getting Leffler mad at him, but now he's passed him back again. They're going at it again.
Take a look.
I wonder if Leffler's brake light wasn't bright enough, and that's why he running the backup.
Well, I don't think so. I think these guys are just all trying their guts out to do what they can. There's some good give and take going on out there.
Stevens now up 26, and Boyer up 11 spots. Let's get more from Mike Massaro.
Hey, Marty, I was just happened to be on the pit box with Harold Holly, his crew chief, when all that happened in the chicane, and, certainly they were a little bit concerned, but I spoke with Harold about that, and he said, you know what? He's going to be able to rebound. He showed me his speeds and said he's every bit as fast as everybody up front. We definitely have a top 10 car, so the hope's still very high in the 66 camp.
Well, the lap times are starting to get a little bit better at the lead, down to 126 seconds now for Marcus Ambrose. That's just a little over 2 minutes, 6 seconds. Uh-oh, car slowing on the track in the back there. Didn't catch the number.
I think that might have been Justin Marks in the 10 car.
Take a look at Scott Wimmer come up on the inside there. And Justin Marks got some damage on the left side. I don't know if he's going to be able to make it back to the pit here or not, guys. He's going awful slow.
Well, no full course caution yet waved by NASCAR as he is well out of the race line, but you're right, there is heavy damage on the left front of the number 10 of Justin Marks. Take a look a little bit further back up in the field. The battle continues with Jacques Villeneuve in front of Ron Fellows. That's a battle for 5th. Of course, when you're on the road course, your feet are busy, your hands are busy, shifting gears. Jack?
Yeah, Marty, we talk about doing the OJT, the on-the-job training here and learning what to do. Guys like Scott Wimmer, Brad Keselowski, what they're doing and what they've been experimenting with is changing their shifting pattern. So a 3rd gear turn now has become a 4th gear turn. A 2nd gear turn has become a 3rd gear turn. Caution is out, and so far, it's worked for some of these drivers.
Well, and that's because of Justin Marks. He cannot make it back. In fact, now he's totally off course, down at the hairpin at the far end. So they'll have to send a wrecker out and pull Justin in.
Marty, Jack was telling us about the different gear ratios now. It's almost like giving yourself your own traction control. You know, you got a lot more power to spin your rear tires in second gear and you do third gear. So it looks like these guys are lugging the engines a little bit to keep the tire spin to a minimum. Kind of like driving snow.
So the big loser in all this is Marcus Ambrose. He had a 4.8 second lead that just evaporated because of the full course caution. You see the 7 of Mike Wallace. You say, wait a minute, why is he back there? He was running much further up. Mike had a drive-through penalty. He was running 25th at the time. So he was assessed the penalty for cutting a corner and not coming to a complete stop. Looks like the 52 will be the car that ends up getting the lucky dog. Be Scott Gaylord as he makes his way around, so he'll get back on the lead lap.
It really looks like turn 1 and 2 is drying up quite nicely. I don't see any rain out there right now, and the lap times picked up almost 10 seconds a little while ago. So, Randy, it's drying out quite a bit for these guys, but it's still really wet all through the S's, down into turn 6 and 7, down through 8 and 9. But everywhere else is looking a lot better.
Yeah, the first 1, 2, 3 turns are looking really good, but after that, it's still plenty wet. And I think these tires, this is a work in progress. And Goodyear's going to want to look at these tires and see the wear on them, as the crew chiefs are. And I think we'll be in good shape.
Guys, I think we should send out some congratulations to all the drivers. I fully expected to see a lot more cars going off into the Tules. And like I said, an all-skate session instead of what we ended up seeing. I mean, they've done well. I
totally agree with you. I'm the one that said they're going to have a caution right in the first corner. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
They minded their P's and Q's. They did a good job, kept these things on course, and hey, it's been a pretty good race in the rain right now.
And you got to remember, we're working lap 22 of 74. If we are lucky enough to go back to dry, then they have done exactly what they needed to do. Kept their cars clean and get into position to compete again.
These guys are definitely professionals. And, you know, last time us three were in the booth, the guy who led the most laps was a pace car driver.
That you're referring to Memphis last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the 24 hours of Memphis.
You know, when you go on the backside of this racetrack, guys, there's trees on the right, trees on the left. It's very narrow. And it looks like they can't even hardly get much wind through that area to help dry this course. I believe that's the big reason it's so much wetter there, Marty, than it is everywhere else.
Just got word from NASCAR. No slicks as of now. If you come to pit lane, you must stay on the rain tires. So we'll find out what happens and who will be the takers and who will be those that stay out. Remember, we had the red flag situation and then 3 caution laps.
I'm not sure I would want slicks out there. I mean, there's still a lot of water on this racetrack.
These cars can run about 30 laps on fuel. They
they
put fuel in at lap 10, I believe.
Right. So they've run about 12 laps under green flag conditions. So you're right. I mean, there's still an opportunity. But what's left on the tread? If it's drying out on the track, you know, you may have to bring them in and put a fresh set of rain tires on. And the word we're hearing from pit lane is some cars are ready with a second set, but the others are not.
They're good. You're still mounting rain tires like crazy down there, and sure whatever happened, NASCAR do it equal for everybody.
And we should explain what happens to these wet tires when it does dry out, because they do chew up faster.
Absolutely. We heard the compound is a lot softer for rain tires than a regular slick because they need a little bit of grip. But once the track gets warm, it just tears these things up. You think these things were back in Indy last week.
Yeah, this will let them cool off a little bit. I don't know if it's going to give them any more life or not, but cool them down a little bit. These tires are pretty soft, and if they're soft, well, actually, does the rubber just actually peel off the top layer of the tire? It almost looks like a shredder just pulling the rubber off. Nothing like last week in Indianapolis, might I add, but it'll kind of rough up the top of the tire.
All right, let's reset it for you right now before they head for pit lane. It's Ambrose, Pappas, Pruitt, Carpentier, Villeneuve. That's your top 5, followed by Fellows, Andrew Ranger. That's right, Ranger is shown right now in the 7th position, and that is a big move for him. He won the race earlier today here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Carl Edwards up to 8th, Greg Biffle 9th, Boris Said in 10th.